Hello everyone, welcome to Club Reaction to Rangers 5, Kilmarnock 1 here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. An old footballing cliche, a tale of two halves, but yes, Rangers have managed to cut the gap to Hearts to 3 points with, in the end, a very convincing win against 10-man Kilmarnock at Ibrox with some real positives I thought within that second half, especially from some of the new signings. I'm Scott Carney, I'm on my own tonight, and yeah, a game that was crucial for many reasons. Obviously coming off of the result at the weekend, we wanted to get back to winning ways, of course. I know it was a draw and it was a point, and whether your glass is half full or half empty, we've either gained a point or dropped two. But also with the result that went last night, with Hearts probably unexpectedly dropping points, or dropping 3 points to St Mirren, it was crucial for Rangers to take advantage of that and to cut the gap to 3 points, and that's exactly what we have done. So overall, absolutely delighted with some of the stuff that I've seen tonight. Genuinely really happy with the majority of the second half. I thought Rangers looked really good, and yeah, I know it was against a tiring 10-man Kilmarnock, but all the reasons that I'll come on to, I think there was real signs of some positivity there. The starting 11 tonight, I think, probably surprised everybody. I don't see anybody picking that team, I really didn't, and it was a one that kind of knocked the stuffing out of me a little bit, I'm not going to lie. Going to the game, when I seen the initial starting 11, I thought, after what we'd seen against Hibs, I couldn't understand how the team selection that he went with initially was one that he expected to see a real change and a real upturn in the team, in terms of creativity, in terms of creating chances, with the team that he did pick. Now, there was no Fernandes, there was no Sterling, and there was no Schmidt. Schmidt apparently has had stitches in his Achilles. Fernandes picked up a knock after the game, and Dujon Sterling is having his minutes managed and made an appearance tonight at Edmondson House. So maybe sensible with Dujon Sterling, not sure, but again, I think this is make or break for Dujon Sterling in terms of his Rangers career, that he has to show that he can remain fit for, I mean, the majority of a season. And as a football player, it's not too much to ask, I don't think. But it was Butland, Tavernier. Ziga came in wearing some questionable attire tonight. Suter, Magoma, midfield of Raskin, Diomande and Asgard, a front three of Mikey Moore, Gisama and Miovski coming back in. Obviously, new signing, Ryan Deary made the bench, as well as Scov Olsen been on the bench, and two Romans, who I will come on to very much so in that second half. Into the game itself, Rangers win a penalty right early on. Again, Mikey Moore cutting inside, he really makes this chance. He plays the ball through to Gisama. Gisama's wiped out, literally took out. It's a straight red card. Kilmarnock are down to 10 men. The right decision was made after they did try to find an offside for it, and the whole noise of Ibrox of "Are you kidding me?" rang out as it came up as a possible offside check for that, which was quite funny. But no offside. James Tavernier steps up and does what James Tavernier does. He puts the ball in the back of the net. He makes it 1-0. The perfect start for Rangers. And at that point, as a fan, I'm not going to lie, I thought, right, you've got the early goal. They're down to 10 men. Let's motor on. There's this thing called goal difference that it'd be quite nice to go and chase after. I regrettably inform you all, those that didn't watch it and those that you did will know where I'm coming from here. The rest of that first half was, I mean, shockingly bad. It really was an incredibly tough watch. If you think I'm being harsh, then fair enough, but I thought Rangers were really poor. You could not tell the difference between the lack of creativity that we showed on Sunday to that first half tonight at Wednesday against Kilmarnock. The only difference is that they were down to 10 men and we'd scored a penalty early on. It was exactly the same, literally exactly the same, to the point that Kilmarnock started to grow in confidence in the game, and they probably had the better chances in that first half, and probably should have scored as well. The noises around Ibrox were not comfortable, because I think we are expecting to see a bit more, and I don't think it's too much to ask based on what we've seen on Sunday. But again, this is why the starting 11 kind of confused me tonight. I thought with the players that he'd picked initially, I thought, how can you fully expect to see a complete change in the way that we've been approaching games of football? And ultimately, that's what that first half highlighted. And look, honestly, that Rangers just didn't create anything. We were doing the same old thing of doing nothing, and it's the Magnolia paint of a footballing team. Watching Rangers in that first half, we just didn't create enough, nowhere near enough. It was slow, it was predictable, it was lazy at times, players shouting at each other, Diomande and Gassama at times screaming at each other for trying to be in different places. Again, players like Asgard not offering enough. Miovski isolated up front. The one time he got in front of his man with a ball over the top, he was in front of his man, he should have took a shot. He didn't, he turned round, he came back the way. Again, chances again for Asgard in the box, not hitting the ball first time, not taking the chance when it comes to you, and it was just far too predictable and safe for Rangers, in my opinion. And yeah, we were probably a little bit fortunate to go in at 1-0 at the half. In the second half, I expected them to make a change. I expected them to make the change immediately as well. I was not impressed with Asgard in that first half, nor Gisama in that first half. I thought he was poor, and I just think there was enough coming from Miovski. I really didn't think there was enough coming from him, and I did expect him to make a change, but he didn't. He continued with the same team. And we continued on a little bit the same form to start off with, but then we started to create spaces. We could clearly see that we were told to try and get by our men, to move the ball quicker, to get to maybe to the byline and cross it in. There was two gilt edge balls placed into the middle of the box where you want your striker to be, and Miovski wasn't there. At this point, I'm screaming to get Miovski off the park, I'm not going to lie, but then he makes me eat my words a little bit, because he's the one that makes it 2-0 with a fantastic finish from the edge of the box. Really well worked goal. It comes to him at the edge of the box and he buries it into the bottom right hand corner. A really tidy goal by Miovski, and yeah, he just didn't give up tonight, so I suppose I have to give him credit for that. From then on, Rangers made change immediately after that goal, and it kind of completely changed the game for me. We brought on the new signings. We brought on Scott Wilson. We brought on, not Scott Wilson, we brought on Tur Romans. I think Tavernier come off for Orange as well, and we seen the Deary as well make an appearance, and yeah, it just changed the game. It really did. I thought giving Mikey Moore a lot more freedom, it looked like, to kind of move and do what he wants, who came on to a right game in that second half. I thought Mikey Moore was absolutely fantastic, and Rangers motored on from there, and we actually started to play really good football at times, moving the ball really well, being quick, being decisive, players running off the ball, players making overlapping runs, and yeah, it was all coming together quite nicely for us, I thought. And the third goal was an absolute beauty. Well worked goal coming from our left hand side, which was a theme in that second half, with a particular Tur Romans. Very impressive. I mean, very impressive first appearance for me. He looks like a player, and I don't want to build him up too much, but I was very impressed with what I seen from Tur Romans. He's an immediate starter. He really is, because he gives us something completely different going forward. I get it, it's again against a 10-man Kilmarnock side, but the way he made his appearance today, he can be very delighted with the minutes he got on the pitch tonight, and I thought he looked brilliant. Honestly, I thought he looked absolutely brilliant. But the ball comes to Scott Wilson in the box. Lovely finish with his left foot, kind of picks his spot into the top left hand corner. Yeah, and Rangers are really in cruise control at that point, and it's really a case of how much. And then Jack Butland has an absolute brain fart. I don't know what Jack Butland is doing here. It's just a lack of concentration, and this is something that slips into his game all too often. It really is. Yes, the game was over at that point, I 100% get it, but it's just a complete shut off. It's a brain fart. It's a complete lapse of concentration, and it's kind of not acceptable at that level. He literally just passed it to the Kilmarnock player after kind of scuffing his pass from the back, and it's as easy as a tap in as you like. And that kind of knocked the stuffing out of Ibrox a little bit, I thought. However, could have been a genius stroke by Jack Button, because it seemed to spur the team on a little bit, and we kind of kicked on, and we did kind of kick on from there. And then again, another really well worked goal for Ant-Man to who came onto the pitch for Miovski. Ant-Man to get a goal as well to make it 4-1, and then really the man of the night for me, Mikey Moore, finished it off with a lovely finish and deserved that goal to make it 5-1. So yeah, I think the way that we moved that ball, again, if anything, it shows tonight that we need the quality of the new players to start more often than not. I thought Scott Wilson was much better. I thought his touches looked better. I thought he looked more confident. I thought there was wee step overs here and there that we hadn't seen from him, and the finish of the goal was absolutely brilliant. All good things for confidence, all good for settling these players. But out of the standouts for me, Tur Romans, as I said, he looks really good. Good stature, quick pace, underlapping, overlapping, crosses into the box, not like mid crosses, long crosses, balls on the ground, cutbacks, everything that you would want from an attacking fullback. I thought we got from him in that brief spell that we've seen him, and I'm excited to see more of him. Absolutely excited to see more of him. Ryan Nadiri as well, not scared to get himself about a bit, and he looks like he's got a bit of pace on him. When he first came on the park, he made a couple of runs, but I thought Rangers should have done better, or the players, his teammates should have done better to try and identify that and to get him in. But again, early days for him. Scott Wilson did pretty much try and get him a goal as well, but he put it just by the post. But again, no negativity really surrounding that for me. He literally is just in the door, but again, I don't think he done himself any harm either. I think he looks pretty ready to go. I think he looks match fit, and I think it's just a case of getting him up to speed with how it's going to be tactically and to kick on from there. So look, 5-1, good for a goal difference. Just a shame we conceded that daft goal, but it just highlights to me how important these new players are going to be. And Mikey Moore, we have to get him more freedom. We can't have him pin him out on the left hand side or the right hand side. He has to be in around the middle for me. That's just my opinion, but he has to be in around this 10 area for us, because I think he's so much more dangerous, and he done so much more than Terrell Asgard did. I mean, by an absolute mile, he really did. He looks dangerous, he's clever on the ball, he knows how to read players, he knows how to draw players in and turn them and run at defences. Everything about Mikey Moore tonight I was very, very impressed with, and yeah, he got man of the match tonight in the stadium, and I will definitely go along with that. I thought he was really good and thoroughly deserved his goal at the end. So yes, look, we cut the gap to 3 points. We have done our business tonight, and more pleasing for the Rangers fans, even though it took a while for us to get there. We done it with a bit of swagger in the end. We done it with a bit of style, conventionally beating 10-man Kilmarnock by 5-1. New players getting minutes on the park, new signings impressing. This is all positives for us. I'm delighted with how it eventually went. I wasn't too happy in the first half and nor at half time, but I'm absolutely delighted with the way Rangers handled their business in the second half. And yeah, we're 3 points, it's right there now. We move into second, obviously, with the postponement of the Aberdeen and the Celtic game. So we're into second now, 3 points behind Hearts. We've took advantage of their slip up, and it's time to just continue motoring on. That will do me for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. I will be back on Friday night with Club Live as we bring more reaction to this. A few of the guys will be on to give more reaction to the game tonight, as well as to look forward to the game against Queen's Park on Sunday at Ibrox. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, all the usual stuff, and I'll speak to you on Friday. 3 points behind. It's right there. It's right there. It's time to absolutely go for it now. Absolutely go for it. Yeah, thank you for tuning in. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Speak to you on Friday. Cheers, everybody.